I have the privilege to introduce our speakers for this morning, Rev Kerry McCleod and Rev Phillip Dykes. Rev Kerry McCleod and Rev Phillip Dykes are internationally renowned evidential mediums, ministers, master coaches, and with each of them bringing over 25 years of experience teaching and demonstrating mediumship across the USA, UK, Europe, Canada, Australia and New Zealand. Wow. Their prior background in senior leadership roles combined with the spiritual work allows them to bring a strong sense of professionalism, ethics, intuition, clarity, compassion, and confidence that they enjoy sharing with others. Please give them a welcome to the platform.
Thank you very much. I almost didn't recognize myself. It is an absolute pleasure to be standing in this very privileged place to share spirituality in a truly spiritual service. That last song was incredibly touching. I've never heard it before, but isn't it just a miracle for us all to be here? For us to be able to understand how the spirit world touches us and how we can have that touch upon each other's hearts and souls. I'm sure we've all felt a little bit lost at times and wondered what our direction was going to be. We might have an idea of where we were going and what we wanted to do, but often we get in front of our own way. We get in our own way. Haven't you ever achieved something that you felt really, really proud of, and then you've maybe shared it with others, or you've compared it to others, and suddenly that pride you had in yourself disappears? You start comparing. You start looking at other people, and suddenly that joy you had in what you had achieved dissipates, and you suddenly feel smaller than you did before. When we compare ourselves to others, it's the one thing that can steal the joy. But sometimes it's really hard not to compare yourselves. On our journey of life, we know that we have a purpose, and we know we have a direction within life that brings all sorts of experiences. And in that song, we heard these young people say they don't know how they're still here, but it is a miracle that they're still here. When we walk this path, when we walk through this life, there's a way within us that doesn't show itself until we're right there in the face of challenges and experiences. And it's that truth of where we're going that allows us to feel on point. When other people have things to say about what we're doing, it can take away from us. But I'd like to paraphrase a quote that Brené Brown says, and some of you might have heard of her. She's a lovely lady who inspires millions across the world. She says, and it is paraphrasing because some of the words I don't want to say within the spiritual place. If you are not willing to get pummeled in the center of this arena, if you're going to stay sheltered in your seats up there in the safe spots, if you're not willing to come down here and get pummeled doing what you believe in, then I am not interested in your views or your opinion on what I'm doing down here. It's called the cheap seats up there in that safe space. And we all know people that sit within those cheap seats that will point down and say, oh, I wouldn't have done it that way. Oh, I think you should have looked at it and you should have done it this way. Well, isn't it easy to look down upon those that are in the arena and comment upon how they would have done it differently? When you are in the arena and you are living your life and you are grateful for what the spirit world has brought you and you are enjoying the miracles that life brings you, nobody should be able to comment upon that, because your miracle might not be appreciated by somebody else, because they don't know what it took for you to stand there in the arena and do what you needed to do. They don't know what your journey was, nor do they need to. You know that phrase, walk a mile in my shoes? I don't need anybody to walk a mile in my shoes to appreciate my journey. I don't need anybody else to know my journey. My journey is mine, and it's between me and the Creator. It's between me and my team in the spirit world, who I am very grateful for. They're incredibly patient. I am not the easiest person to teach, you know. I am so stubborn sometimes that I wonder why they haven't just walked off and said, you know what, I will come back when you're ready. They don't. They stay with me. You all have a team in the spirit world as well. You are graced by many little miracles in the spirit world, and they touch your life in ways you probably will never find out until you get to the spirit world and they show you. They allow you to see how they made things happen, even the challenging things. They will say to you one day, you know, you asked for this lesson and we sent your teacher, and then you moaned and groaned about it, how bad life was. Miracles aren't just the things that add up to being positive. Miracles are the things that allow you to grow. And did you know it's the lessons that are tough that allow us to grow the best? What challenges us is food for the soul. Now, the challenges are really tough for the ego. We want to look good. We want to do our best. We want to impress people. We want to achieve. We want to be the best we can be. But sometimes that's not what the soul needs. Sometimes the soul needs something incredibly more challenging than that. So when you look around and you see others on their path, and you see that they're doing their stuff, grant them that miracle to live their own life and stay on track with yours. Don't compare. Don't look for anything other than the miracle that allowed you to be on this path, and trust in those miracles. Thank you, and I'm now going to pass over to Phil.
Good morning. What an absolute pleasure it is to see so many people with smiley faces. That's a hint, by the way. We've just listened to a wonderful song about miracles. In our lives, we've experienced so many. Some that we are aware of and some that we are not. And there's been major people within our history that have created miracles, such as a gentleman that said just a few words and repeated them 3 times. I have a dream. You all have dreams. You all have fantasies, aspirations, things that you want to achieve in life. Every step that you take upon that dream is a miracle. I come from a little market town in Lancashire. I was called a dreamer. My father, my mother, my teachers especially, said he may be a good student if he didn't daydream looking out of the windows. But I lived in my own world. I had my dreams. When I began this journey of discovering spirituality, I never thought for one moment that I would achieve a dream of traveling the world. And when this young lady behind me spoke and read that bio, I had to pinch myself and thought, I've gone to all these marvelous places. I count that as a miracle. Somebody from my town who has achieved so much. And it's personal to me. I'm not being egotistical. I can't believe that I'm stood here today. Stood here in the footprints of pioneers. People that have spoke to many hundreds and maybe even thousands of people, inspiring them, giving hope to the living through a truth of spiritualism, that we survive the physical death of the human body. It's a marvelous wonder, isn't it? We talk about these items, these material objects like the pyramids, and talk about them being the wonders of the world. Well, for me, we're here right now in a miracle itself, because I believe a miracle is that those that have passed before us reach out through love to inspire you, their loved ones. They've created them yourselves in a mold of who they were. They inspired you to be the very person that you are today, giving you personality, character, giving you a free world to live in, to have choices, to make those mistakes. Yes, you heard me correct. Make mistakes. Because it is through those mistakes that we learn to speak and find our truths. Just like those young gentlemen spoke about and sung about just there, and that young lady. It's a miracle that they're alive. Every single one of you are a living miracle. I can safely say that. I have many friends in the spirit world where I was stood, where they were stood, only for seconds where I moved and they went to the spirit world through accidents, that close to me. And sometimes I look back and think, how did that happen? I was just stood there seconds before. So, ladies and gentlemen, sometimes things happen and we don't realize what a miracle we have and are in life. Even the small things that you may encounter, that you will never know where you've changed somebody's life, where you might have stood and opened a door through kindness and smiled at somebody. That might be the only smile they received that day. But what an effect it has. An act of kindness can change somebody's moment, somebody's day, and maybe even somebody's life. Because you never know, that door that you opened and they walked through, they might have, like today, received a contact. A miracle in itself that a loved one reaches out through love, shares their memories of evidence with you, and then transforms a life, inspires them to pull their socks up, to live their life to their full. And just like that gentleman who had a dream of uniting a world and people, that contact has inspired a life to go out into this world through those doors and inspire another. It is a miracle to be present in this world. And ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to be that miracle, to inspire many others. From your truth in what you believe, in your faith that you have within your hearts, but actually within your actions of kindness, of empathy, and compassion. It is your heart speaking, your truth speaking, and your soul shining. Whether the sun shines or it rains, you shine, because you are a divine spark of this wonderful world and God that you believe in. You are the spirituality that we preach of. You are the goodness in this world that can make a difference through one simple act. Thank you for listening.